I had a subscriber of mine call me out, HCN the comedian. I think he left his comment on like 3 of my videos. He was like, Mike, every time the Warriors lose, you make a video. Every time Westbrook gets a triple-double, you make a video. But you never talk about the Cavs. And I guess it's just because the Cavs, to me, are a great team to defend the NBA champions. But oftentimes there's just not much for me to talk about. Now, with the latest skid that they've been on, I probably should have made a video about it sooner. You're right. But this is my feeling about the latest skid, which continued tonight. Now, it's officially, I don't want to say crisis mode yet, but it's alarming. But I have 2 different feelings about this thing, all right? So I'm going to give one feeling about it and then the other, okay? Number one, I think it's alarming that they've lost 7 out of 9 games. They're still 30-15, I believe, on pace to still win 54, 55 games, but they've really fallen. And it continued tonight against the Sacramento Kings. They were winning with just 2 minutes to go in the game. Up in overtime, what was it though? 111, 106 at home. And somehow the Kings outscored them 10-1 the rest of the game to win 116-112. Now LeBron James had a triple-double. Kevin Love had a really strong game. I think it's something like 21 points, 16 rebounds. Kyrie Irving had an okay game. Kyle Korver and Shumpert had decent games. Everybody else, nothing. Absolutely nothing. LeBron James played 45 minutes. This isn't the 2006, 7, 8 version of LeBron where he could just play those minutes and just be like, he gets a little tired now. He's getting older. As you get older, folks, no matter how great an athlete you are, you know what starts happening biologically? You start developing, I know this is going to sound a little weird for me to say this about an athlete, but slowly you develop something called atherosclerosis. All right? It's not at the disease state yet, but what that means is that you start getting your arteries start to narrow slightly, just ever so slightly. You're not getting quite the same rush of oxygen in your system as you did when you were 18 in your early to mid-20s, and you get tired. Now, of course, if you have a bad diet, this process accelerates, and then when you're in your 50s and 60s, then you start having heart problems. But I know that probably went over the head of 90% of people I'm talking to. But anyway, LeBron James, in a nutshell, he can't play 45 minutes a night anymore. He could do it, but not every night. Okay? Also, this team just doesn't have, and LeBron James has said it, and people in the media have said enough, they don't have enough facilitators, man. Like, you got a lot of guys on this team. Kyle Korver, you got Shannon Fryer, you got Shumpert, okay? You got all these guys that can shoot, but they're not really being set up with a ball handler, because Kyrie is more of a shooting guard. This team needs a point guard. In particular, this team needs a point guard. That's what it seems to be. Or, this team needs another scorer so that another player, primarily perhaps LeBron, can just play the role of facilitator. As Larry Bird did during the latter stages of his career, the Boston Celtics. Of course, he could still score, but not at the level that he once did. He wasn't able to create his shot as well as as fluidly as he used to. So he became more of a facilitator. The offense ran through him. Of course, the team still needs another facilitator. And I've read that one of the players that they've looked into is like a guy like Deron Williams, formerly a star with the Utah Jazz. So that's one of the main problems I see. Now, here's the conspiratorial part of me. I gotta say it, if the NBA is rigged to an extent, there's been this big push for Carmelo, to join forces with a team like Cleveland, right? Even though many people don't feel like he'd be a good fit for the team. All of a sudden, this team goes on a skid. Cleveland was looking like gangbusters earlier this season. Now, all of a sudden, right around the time there's this friction with the New York Knicks, Phil Jackson, seemed like they want Carmelo out. Carmelo is like pretty much starting to think that he's looking at that white flag. He hasn't waved it yet, but he's looking at it, saying, if he starts waving it, it's like hasta la vista, New York. All of a sudden, Cleveland goes on a skid. So then some people saying, got Cleveland fans and people in basketball, wow, we need something new. Look, our offense isn't flowing right. Maybe Carmelo could help us. Ding, 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 ding. Ratings, ratings, ratings. Stephen A. Smith. I tell you, Carmelo is just the weapon that Cleveland needs. LeBron James, don't get me wrong, LeBron James is an all-time great, but the boy's bad. Don't get me wrong, the boy's bad. But Cleveland needs a little help here. And I think Carmelo could be Max. He could be the offense that they need. He could be the shot in the arm that they need because, them boys struggling right now. Them boys struggling. You know how that shit is, guys. So, I'm just saying, I'm always skeptical when it comes to the NBA. I love it, but it's some things about it that's a little questionable. I'm not going to say it's overly all the way rigged, but there's some shit with it. Tell me what you guys think, man.